Hello everybody, John Felt here. Welcome to the NCGA Valent Ag Weather Outlook for August 6, 2016. Well, over the last week we had quite a bit of rain in several spots. I want to bring to your attention Missouri, parts of Iowa, very heavy rain into the Missouri River Basin, parts of the Middle Mississippi River Basin. Look at those streaks of 5 inches, and I talked about that this week, how we had repeated days of these northwest to southeast patterns of rainfall. They'd originate at night and then they'd move down to the southeast U.S. in a pretty broad swath of very heavy rainfall. Now the eastern Corn Belt, which can use some additional rain, another week of dry weather, especially parts of Michigan and Ohio. I mentioned last few weeks that southeast South Dakota could use some more rain, and there was some modest rain, nothing that's going to necessarily be game-changing in that area, but there was some precipitation. Southeast U.S., if you're in that region, you know this pattern of daily showers and storms has really continued, and I have some news for that area, so we're really going to be seeing some big changes in the southeast U.S. So if we look at the percent of normal over the last 7 days, you can see this is a departure from normal. You can see the areas in purple. That's 3, 4, even 5 inches above normal for the week in that track of northwest to southeast rainfall from Iowa into Missouri. But most of the Corn Belt, primary Corn Belt, I see some yellow, and that's indicating it was a dry week, especially over the eastern Corn Belt, about an inch of rain deficit for the week. So if we look at soil moisture here, and this is just an estimate, I know in your given area it could be either a little bit more, a little bit less, but this gives us a general tone, and I actually see more either unshaded or green, and that's indicating pretty good conditions for this time of year. Now some exceptions are this eastern Corn Belt. This is where I'd like to see some additional rain. Michigan, parts of eastern Indiana, much of Ohio. You can't really see it as much here, but this area here, even though it's received some additional rain, I'd like to see a little bit more in that area. Southeast U.S. is incredibly dry. It's in a drought, but that is going to be changing over the next week. Now, as far as temperatures go last week, the areas in green were temperatures a little bit below normal, and that was due to the additional clouds and rain. Everybody else experienced temperatures a little bit above normal, and perhaps we're even seeing that effect of the very dry ground over Ohio. And look at that, that's 3 degrees to 6 degrees above normal. That's a little bit higher than Illinois, for example. That's just 0 to 3 degrees above normal. That could be explained due to clouds, and that could be explained due to areas that either the ground is wet, so we're getting some additional evaporation, versus grounds that are dry. Okay, so as far as the forecast goes, here's the forecast this week, and we have a general area of high pressure. It's still sitting over Texas and Oklahoma. That's the area that's been very dry. It's going to continue dry as long as that area of high pressure is centered right over that region. The jet energy for the most part now is over the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes, and that's most likely where we're going to have the best chance of precipitation. Remember these lines close together indicating the jet stream, and that's where we have energy, and we need that energy in summertime to produce more organized precipitation. Now temperatures this week, we're going to start out with some drier air and some cooler air early in the week with some high pressure, but that's going to gradually go back to temperatures a bit above normal by the end of the week. And this will be that transition. This is on Thursday, and this is what will be driving some of the heavier rain over the upper Midwest. But up until this time, temperatures not quite as hot, but then this will be ushering those hotter temperatures right back in. I think the big story is going to be over the south central U.S. this week. These are the 3 systems that are in the tropics. Earl has moved inland, and it's really not an issue anymore. We have a system that's indicated by the number 2 there, and that's not really expected to develop. But the system here, that's system number 1, that's the one that doesn't look all that impressive on satellite, but that's going to produce a multi-day rain event. It might be every day this week over the northwest Florida coast and over parts of the southeast U.S. You can sort of see the tracks here. This system just sort of sits here, very slowly drifts to the north, and as a result we're going to get extremely heavy rain in that area. You can see over 10 inches of rain over the northwest Florida coast, and then heavy rain pushing inland as well. So this is going to be an unusually wet week for the southeast U.S. And over northern Alabama and Georgia, this area really needs some rain, and if it can perhaps avoid the heaviest rain, this could be a very beneficial week as far as rainfall goes. But over the south part, we're getting so much rain in this area here, this could definitely pose some problems. We're getting 7 to 8 inches of rain. And in Florida, we're looking at 15 inches of rain in spots. Okay, so if we go out a little bit further into the middle part of the month, we get sort of a lazy type of jet stream here, sort of a west to east, and a general period of above normal temperatures. And then as we get into the latter part of the month, you can see that ridge again develops, and this is right back what we saw in parts of July into early August, where we have this northwest flow and this energy here. So as far as the jet stream go, really not a whole lot of change as we go through the month of August. Nothing really all that dramatic. And it does look like into the 11 through 15 day range, very warm temperatures significantly above normal, centered over the plains, the western Corn Belt, not so much the eastern Corn Belt. So precipitation, week 1, here we go. Looks like the biggest action is going to be over parts of North Dakota, Minnesota, perhaps surrounding states, and then over the southeast U.S. Everywhere else, fairly quiet week. Here's week 2. Models are showing continued jet energy over the upper Midwest, again, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Let's hope that some of this moisture will get into this region. There's a possibility, at least from the models, for week 2, some additional precipitation. Now, if you're in Texas and Oklahoma, it's been so dry. Look at this. Very strong signal week 1, very strong dry signal week 2. As far as the hazards go, excessive heat over the south central U.S. and those areas of heavy rain that I mentioned. So, looks like this week's going to be a very uneventful week as far as weather for most parts of the Corn Belt, except for the upper Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, where there is that chance for some heavy rain. After a break for 2 or 3 days, it does look like the heat will return, and we'll have summertime hot temperatures and even above normal temperatures as we get near the middle part of the month. If you haven't taken a look at the Weather Decisions dashboard, take a look. agweatheradvisor.com, username NCGA, password NCGA. Take a look and let me know what you think. Have a great week.